Hello, I am student meteorologist Chandler Pruitt. Welcome to FSU Weather, the Wednesday edition. Now, right now, it's quite beautiful out there. The sun's starting to set. We have some clouds in the sky, but it's partly cloudy. Temperature 72 degrees, so quite enjoyable. We have some winds out of the south at 8 miles per hour. So pretty delightful conditions, but not January conditions. We can see pretty much 70s across the board, but 69 in Apalachicola thanks to a little bit of rain showers over in the National Forest just south of us. We have a little bit of rain showers just from some convergence because of that southerly flow coming off of Panama City and off of East Point. For tonight's headlines, though, we're going to be covering the above-average temperatures that will continue to persist throughout the next few weeks, as well as the major ice storm that is impacting the central Texas area. And we'll also be reviewing tornado safety because we have severe weather season coming up. All that and more on FSU Weather, which starts now.
Yeah, Chandler, thank you. It definitely doesn't feel too great here in Tallahassee. Personally, being from South Florida, as well as some other girls you're going to be seeing on air pretty soon, we do enjoy those temperatures into the 70s, but it really is just a bit anomalous for Tallahassee and for the Southeast, and we'll see those conditions persist just for a couple more days. We got a peek over at Sarah Lynn to give you the local coming up on the Tallahassee temperatures, but actually, these conditions are not persisting for the rest of the southeast, as we do see that Arctic air that we've been seeing, that low pressure system come in and bring lots of rain and ice to regions of the southeast and Texas. But for now, let's head right back locally with Sarah Lynn at the wall.
Yes, thank you, Genevieve. Sorry, you got a little sneak peek of me. Caught me off guard a little bit, but that's all right. We'll take a look at our sunset over Joe Campbell Stadium. It's a beautiful sunset tonight. It's looking like we're going to have some clouds right on the horizon, but otherwise it's going to be a beautiful day. I love it. And if you want to go outside, it's 72 degrees and partly cloudy with slight wind. It's a beautiful day to go outside and enjoy the sunset with your friends. We're not going to really be seeing any kind of rain over the next couple of hours, where there's a few showers over by East Point due to that sea breeze bringing that moisture in. And we have a little bit of showers, but not anything that's going to be impacting us here in Tallahassee. Current temperatures are pretty consistent over the entire Big Bend area. It's much warmer than we're used to here in January at 72 degrees here in Tallahassee, 74 in Donnellsville, and I think our low point is 69 down in Apalachicola due to that sea breeze that is cooling that area down a little bit and helping them out with these really high temperatures for these winter days. Again, mentioning that high temperature, we're only 3 degrees cooler than our a record high here in Tallahassee, which happened in 1989, and our low is also very high, above our average of 41 degrees, and our low of 20 degrees in 1977, which is, I'm glad it's not that cold, but it is a little bit too hot for me for this time of year. It was a tiny bit muggy, as you could probably tell if you walked outside. Nothing too bad, but it was all right. And I could tell if you were out at Market Wednesday, you probably could tell it was a little bit hot, a little bit muggy, but nothing too bad. Our future radar, we might be getting some clouds coming in from the south as that sea breeze is going to bring that moisture in, and maybe a little bit of precipitation, but nothing like we've been seeing over the last couple of the weeks prior. Tonight, it's going to be about 61 degrees. It's going to be a beautiful night if you want to go outside with your friends. A little bit cloudy, but no wind, so it should be pretty nice if you want to go on a walk or anything. And it's pretty consistent over the Big Bend area as well, about 60s up in Alabama and Georgia, but 61 on the coast, but staying pretty much consistent for the whole Big Bend area. Tomorrow it's going to be seeing similar temperatures to today, but a little bit cloudy. We had some nice sunshine today, which only exacerbated that heat that we had for these abnormally high temperatures, and again, a very slight wind, but 73 degrees, which is pretty nice, and it's pretty consistent over the Big Bend area as well, getting down a little bit cooler in the St. Mark's part of the country. It's state, sorry. For the week ahead, we're having a huge dip down. Friday night getting down to 38 degrees, which is much, much colder. So be sure you are ready for that, but staying consistent otherwise. And we're going to pass it off to Joy with a closer look at Florida.
Thank you, Sarah Lynn. Here is our beautiful state of Florida, and as you can see, everything looks pretty normal if it were a summer day. Unfortunately, it is February and we are seeing some temperatures. 78 in Miami is probably what you expect, but 75 in Tallahassee, as Sarah Lynn mentioned, is pretty warm and warmer than usual. Current dew points, the entire state is pretty muggy. 69 in Miami, 66 in Tallahassee. Not really nice feeling. Looking at our radar across the state of Florida, there is not much going on. We are enjoying some beautiful sunshine or some beautiful clouds depending on where you are. You can see kind of in the Big Bend region, there are some storms near the coast, but nothing that's going to impact Tallahassee, nothing that's going to impact Tampa, nothing that's really going to impact Miami either. Here, up look at those storms as well. You can see down by East Point, some pop-up showers that would affect that area, but over in Tallahassee, not much really going on. And if you're driving on I-10, you should have a very smooth drive. On the FSU lakefront, 72 degrees, partly cloudy. Is a beautiful night to go outside. Maybe some late night swimming, maybe a lovely night to go stargazing with a slight breeze to help cool you off. Down on I-75, not much going on, just a couple of clouds, so your drive should be pretty smooth. If you're in Ocala as well, it should be really nice, another lovely day. And down in Daytona Beach as well, just clouds in the area. Looking at Gainesville, we have a beautiful sunset. You can really see those gradients, and it's currently 75, and it will not be sunny any longer, but we have a pretty slight breeze, so it will be just another lovely day in Gainesville if you want to go out. And in South Florida, as you can see, as I said before, not really much going on in terms of rain. There's some pop-up showers here in the Gulf of Mexico, a couple pop-up showers in the Atlantic as well. But it should overall be a lovely day to go out, especially if you want to go for a late night swim on the beach. And in Miami, as you would expect, another beautiful, beautiful sunset. This is what we know Miami for, and we know Miami to be pretty warm, 78 degrees and sunny with a slight breeze. So if you're out in Miami, keep going out because it will be a lovely, lovely night for you. Looking at our rain forecast, you can start to see some rain coming in Thursday. That is due to a cold front that will be passing over the area starting Thursday evening. But down in South Florida, not much going on, even in Central Florida and even parts of Jacksonville. And tonight in Florida, it should be cooling off just a little bit. In Tallahassee, 62 degrees. In Miami, 71, which is normal for the area. And tomorrow, we should expect to see those pretty warm temperatures that we saw today as well. 73 in Tallahassee, 84 in Miami. It is really looking like summer in winter. And so we're going to actually be able to see that cold front passing over through the area. Over here, you can see like that green. So it's a little cooler in that area, and we will actually start to see that in the Big Bend region. But we're going to pass it off to Elizabeth to tell us about our Spotlight City, Dallas.
Thank you so much, Joy. So, if you've been paying attention to the weather news at all, Dallas is big in the headlines right now because of a severe ice storm that they're having. It is currently 31 degrees with some freezing rain. The winds are pretty calm, so that is sort of helping out with that temperature, but it's still 31 degrees and raining, so not very nice conditions out there right now. Across the rest of the DFW area, we're seeing pretty much lower 30s and upper 20s throughout the rest of the region. We got 31 in Sulphur Springs, 28 in Decatur, and 28 in Weatherford right now, and they are experiencing that freezing rain all across the area. The high today was only 30, which is about 30 degrees less than their average of 59. This is pretty hot, but I'm sure they would have preferred this record high of 91, and the record low was 6, and our average is a little bit higher than the low temperatures that we have seen today. Our current watches and warnings, we have a ice storm warning for most of the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and a winter storm warning actually more out towards the east. I'm covering it up now. Right over here, and then this purple shading up here is actually a winter weather advisory. So winter weather conditions are likely in this location and should be paid attention to for these residents. Here is our radar. This pink shading is our ice, which Dallas is pretty much covered in it right now, all the way up the 35 corridor and across I-20 as well. We're seeing some rain off to the east, but as of right now, they're not getting very nice conditions over there. and our future radar, ice is still kind of the main concern going into tomorrow morning. And then we'll start to see that rain move into the later morning hours. A little bit of a break, but the rain moves in as well. And probably by this time tomorrow, that area will be seeing the last of its rainy conditions. So if you are going out to the basketball game, the Pelicans are at the Mavericks tomorrow. At 8:30 p.m., it is going to snow. Most likely, it is going to be 37 degrees, but that is inside, so you don't have to worry much about the temperature. However, your commute there might be a little dangerous, so be careful as you're out on the roads. And our weekend forecast, we're going to see our temperatures warm up after tomorrow, all the way up to 54 and 61 on Sunday, so we're going to see our normal conditions throughout the area, but tomorrow, our rain is still a big concern, and our lows are still below freezing until about Saturday night. So if you are out in that area right now, ice on the roads are going to be a big concern, so be careful as you are be careful of black ice as you are driving out there right now. And now we're going to pass it off to Genevieve. What does the rest of the Southeast look like?
Well, first off, Elizabeth, I do want to mention that black ice that you just said. People may be wondering, oh, what is black ice? Well, guess what? It's ice that you cannot see. You don't think that it is ice, so you go driving your car, and then you start slipping in your car down the street, and that's not something good we want to have. But let's take a look at our southeast area cameras where we see our beautiful weather stem cameras. Sunset just over Blacksburg, Virginia, 34 degrees. We see that stark contrast between Gainesville here in Florida that Joy was mentioning. We have such warm temperatures and such humid conditions, but we have really not ideal conditions once you go off to the west into Louisiana and further into Texas, as our wonderful Elizabeth just showed us. But our temperatures for the region here in Tallahassee, you see that 75, and those upper 70s continue down the Florida Peninsula, but going further up into Georgia and Alabama, we're seeing slightly cooler conditions, and then those really chilly conditions are going to start popping up into Little Rock, Arkansas, Jackson, Mississippi, Shreveport. That's where we had that Arctic cold front coming in, bringing in that ice, and what is it? Precipitation, because it's coming in all different forms. Those dew points are another thing that's really making the conditions not ideal for our good friends in Jackson, Shreveport, all over into the western part of the southeast. We see those greens that indicate we have more humid conditions and higher dew points in the state of Florida, but once you get into Mississippi, Alabama, Louisiana, Arkansas, it's really quite dry. That chapstick kind of weather. Maybe even some hand lotion, and if you're using any hand sanitizer, make sure you apply because it's going to be really dry. Along with those really dry conditions are those temperatures that really are a little different from normal. We see those reds going into Tallahassee area through Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, that are indicating that temperatures are far above normal. It is the 1st of February, actually, so let's start thinking about that. What's wrong here? And that radar, let's see all that ice go through the northern part of Texas, and you'll see that rain come through northern Louisiana and southern Arkansas, so please be wary of that. And that future radar is just going to show you all that rain. Look at it, just plowing right through the southeast, coming to Tallahassee as we inch into Friday early morning hours. But that rain is just going to bring us too much water for us to handle. So be careful driving, drive slow, carry your umbrella, that is for sure. We'll see that rain amount to up to 1.5 inches and really bring us, a mystery. But that rain will be coming, and as the rain comes, it'll be bringing some much lower temperatures for those in the west. But let's see those conditions continue for the southeast as that cold air comes into the western part. So let's pass it off to Chandler and Sarah Lynn. What are we going to talk about? What kind of safety?
Well, we're going to talk about tornado safety. It's one thing that the Southeast really experiences quite often.
I mean, last week when we got our tornado here in Tallahassee, there was also a pretty significantly damaging tornado in Texas that caused some damage to some buildings as well.
That's right. It's something big to talk about, and we'll go ahead and transition over to some graphics just to highlight some of the big things that we can see during this time of year.
So peak tornado activity is historically between the months of March and May, but we are getting closer into that time where we have to kind of keep an eye on those things and be really prepared if we were to experience a tornado like that.
That's right. Florida Severe Weather Awareness Week starts February 6th and goes through the 10th. And that's because our severe weather season starts a little bit earlier than those north of us, because those cold fronts start to really transition northward. So we get to experience some of the severe weather to begin with before people north of us really get the brunt of the impact.
And it really is good to have an awareness week before tornado season starts, because you want to be sure that you review your severe weather plans ahead of the upcoming season, and you don't want to be caught off guard once the tornado season actually begins. That's
right. So here's some signs to know for a tornado. First, strong, consistent rotation in the cloud base. That is one of the big things that you have to pay attention to.
And I'm sure if you hear some loud, continuous roar, you're going to think that something's going on. So make sure if it doesn't fade quickly like thunder does, that you get inside and get under some cover.
That's right. And then you have to look at some of the debris on the ground in that cloud base. But something else to take a note of is thunderstorms and tornadoes in general. Just make sure your house or building is prepared for such a severe weather outbreak.
And if you are inside a building, make sure you are away from windows and as far inside the house as you can get. You don't want to be near any big windows in case they break and you could get hurt by the glass.
That's right. And also make sure you have weather alerts some way or another. Have a weather radio. That's the best way, even when power is out in your house.
And lightning usually is accompanied with tornadoes, and you know we are from Florida, we see lightning all the time, so if there's lightning, do not go in the water, stay inside, make sure that you are not towards any windows or electronic devices.
That's right, make sure you seek shelter, but that's kind of the big review. Now we'll toss things back over to the wall to highlight what's the national outlook right now.
Thank you, guys. Tornado safety is really important. And if we actually switch our gears over, we're actually seeing a lot of cool temperatures here in the United States, minus the green thumb down in Florida and even southern Georgia and South Carolina. We see 18 in Minneapolis, really, really frigid if you ask me, and 63 in Los Angeles, beautiful, beautiful temperatures there. As I said about the green thumb, Florida and southern Georgia are pretty muggy, if I do say so myself, but everywhere else seems to be pretty dry. So as Genevieve mentioned, please wear chapstick, please wear lotion, stay safe if you are in a dry area. And bringing those ice storms into Texas, we can see those temperature anomalies. It's much colder than usual, and even up in the plains over here, still much colder than usual. In California, we have some variation of warmth and cooler than usual temperatures, but in the southeast, very warm temperatures, way higher than average, and we will continue to see that over the next couple of days. Our wind speeds and directions, they are there. I mean, it's pretty calm in Seattle, it's pretty calm in Portland, and even with those ice storms in Dallas, a 9-mile-per-hour wind isn't too much to worry about, but you should be worrying about those storms if you are in the area, because you can see here, all of this peak is representing ice. There is a lot of ice going through the state of Texas, and with this cold front down in Louisiana, you can see a lot of rain happening in the area, even going into Mississippi, even going into Tennessee over here. But down in Florida, we aren't really seeing much, but we will start seeing stuff later. And if we move our way over to the west, we can see pretty clear, nice little high over in Denver and Idaho, so not really much going on over there. Should be beautiful weather over there. And we can see with the water vapor, you can see all of that ice passing through Texas, all of the rain passing through Louisiana, so you can really see a clear distinction between the dry, high up in the northwest region and all of the ice and precipitation happening in the Great Plains. Taking a look at our northern Midwest region, not really much going on. You can see a bunch of clouds from that icy storm down in Texas, but up in like Minneapolis area, even in South Dakota, not much going on. It is beautiful, minus the fact that it is absolutely frigid over there, so make sure you are wearing your jacket. Looking at the northeast, same deal as the north Midwest. Just not much going on, minus some clouds, but again, some pretty cold temperatures that are below normal, so again, wear your jacket. And this is where the fun begins. This icy storm up in Texas, beautiful, but not actually beautiful. You should make sure that if you are driving in this ice to stay safe, make sure you stay home. And if your power goes out, make sure you have a generator or some backup supplies, like make sure you are safe. And in Louisiana, you can see, again, that cold front I was mentioning earlier starting to pass and move towards the east. And in Georgia, beautiful conditions. In Florida, as I mentioned earlier, is also beautiful. So if you are in Texas, please stay safe and make sure that you have preparedness guides with you. Taking a look at our 6 to 10 day temperature outlook, we can say very, very, very warm temperatures up down in the southeast, and even in like New York region, it's pretty warm, but it's pretty cold. Like if you are in this area, it is really cold. So again, wear your jacket. Minneapolis, it is likely above, except it's really, really cold. And taking a look at our precipitation outlook, we are seeing some pretty wet spots here in Tennessee. We are seeing some pretty wet spots in Florida as we would expect it. It's pretty dry here in this region. Rainfall forecast, it's really wet because of that cold front happening. And we are going to pass things off to Elizabeth once again.
Thank you so much, Joy. So let's look some more at what's going on across Tallahassee for the rest of the day and into this weekend. Our local cameras, the sun is just finishing setting, and look at that beautiful orange color across FSU Panama City campus and across the Sportsplex. It is a little cloudy down in St. George Island, so maybe going to the beach tonight, it will be a little bit more chillier. And a live look over Doak, we're starting to see that sunset again. A few clouds in the sky, but really beautiful conditions tonight. It is 72 degrees in Tallahassee. Winds coming out of the south at 8 miles per hour. As far as airport delays go, here at Tallahassee International, airport delays are not something that we are worried about right now. 72 degrees, like I said, and good to go here, although some other places that are experiencing that severe weather might have it a little bit differently. And there is that over here. Although it says right now that in Dallas there are no flights delayed. I know that they were having issues about cancellations earlier. But across the rest of the country, airport delays are not a big deal right now. Our dog walk forecast for tomorrow, it is going to be a pretty okay day. If you wanted to walk your dog in the morning. It will be cloudy for the majority of the morning, and at 11 a.m. it'll hit 69 degrees. However, that is not too warm if you wanted to take your animals out for a walk. And as far as our stargazing forecast goes, as we saw on those cameras, there are not too many clouds in the sky. So if you wanted to go out and look at the stars tonight, it's a beautiful night tonight. We have a 40% waxing crescent right now, so that'll be very nice to see. And for tomorrow night, Saturday, we have our FSU softball Garnet and Gold scrimmage at 1:30 p.m. It's going to be a beautiful day, 60 degrees, so a little bit more chilly, so you might want to bring a jacket, although it's going to be very sunny, so it may start to feel a little bit warmer. And we have FSU women's basketball versus Wake Forest at home tomorrow night at 6 p.m. in the Donald Tucker Civic Center. Partly cloudy skies. It will be a little bit warmer at 69 degrees for the sun almost being set. However, beautiful conditions if you plan to go to that game tomorrow. And then we are traveling to NC State for men's basketball tonight, 9 p.m. It's going to be a little bit of a different story up there. 39 degrees and mostly cloudy, although it's inside, so you won't feel the cold as much during the game, although on your way there and back, it might be good to bring a jacket. Here is that beach cam again. Pretty not so great conditions across the beach cam, 67 degrees and cloudy, winds north at 7 miles per hour. And for our weekend, we're going to be seeing some rain on Friday and some cooler temperatures throughout the rest of the weekend. Now we'll take one final look at our local.
Yeah, so Elizabeth, that rain coming in Friday, that's a future worry of ours, isn't it? Some really nice conditions depending on who you are, because it is 72 degrees, February 1st. Oh, Mike's. But it is currently partly cloudy. Here we have that beautiful sunset over Doak Campbell Stadium as we see that stunning, stunning purple and pink come into the sky, partly cloudy, and we'll see that little bit of rain just to the south of us going through, like Chandler said, Apalachicola National Forest, which we did have a little bit of a fire last week, I remember, so hopefully that is all contained and everything will be okay there. But if you are in that region, please make sure that you have an umbrella and that you're staying inside and being safe on the roads. For the whole Tallahassee area, we're seeing pretty much kind of the same story. We're seeing those 72s into that lower 70s and those upper 60s, 69 down by the bay in Apalachicola.
And 69 is not the exact temperature that we reached today because it actually was 80 degrees. Now that is only 3 degrees away from our record that we saw in 1989 of 83 degrees, and definitely far from our 20-degree low record in 1924. And those dew points, we see that green color. You see that bar up top highlighting that the greener it is, the more moisture in the air and the higher the dew point. The drier it is, it will be brown, it will be black. You clearly see none of that color in here, and that is because we have that moist air ahead of that cold front that's going to come in its way towards the end of the week and through the weekend. We'll see spots. You see spots, it's like a bunch of polka dots all across the radar. We see those white clouds covering, but do carry an umbrella in your backpack because we cannot rule out a pop-up shower for tonight. Speaking of tonight, let's see. Beautiful Doe Campbell, stunning. We see cloudy conditions. It's 61 degrees, so really a nice night to head out into College Town. Maybe get dinner. I know us team leaders are going out to dinner on Friday, so that's going to be really, really fun. And hopefully we all are carrying our umbrellas. But for tonight, you will not need those umbrellas as those conditions show you 62 degrees here in Tallahassee. So depending on who you are, you won't really need a jacket either. 73 degrees will be our high for tomorrow and cloudy. So if you are thinking about going to Strozier, it will be a nice walk. Or Dirac. Personally, I prefer Dirac. We're STEM majors in here. We love Dirac. But tomorrow's forecast, we'll see those highs into the upper 70s as Bainbridge Valdosta gets really up there, 79 degrees on February 2nd, and will show that week ahead that rain is going to give us some relief as we see a low on Saturday as 38. Shiver me timbers, my goodness, but really, really anomalous temperatures for Florida and for Tallahassee. But we're going to close out the show with Chandler and Joy, aren't we?
Thank you so much for that, Genevieve. And yes, we had a beautiful day today, and we'll have another beautiful day tomorrow. How are you going to take advantage of that, Joy?
I think I'm going to go out for a walk. What about you?
I'm probably going to do about the same thing, honestly. Just try to get outdoors a little bit before those rainy conditions start settling in Saturday.
Absolutely, and we need to make sure that our friends in Texas are staying safe with all of that icy weather going on over there.
That's right. They're not going to be able to enjoy any outside conditions for quite a bit until that ice starts to melt. But luckily for us, we're not dealing with any of that wintry weather. But yeah, it's been quite a wild wintry weather day for those in Texas, and it's going to slowly shift its way over into the southeast. But here in the really far southeast, we're going to be able to enjoy nicer conditions and be able to enjoy nicer weather in general. But also with being in the southeast, we've talked about that tornado safety. That's one of the biggest important things, right?
Of course, and make sure to follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/FSUweather and like us on Facebook at facebook.com/FSUweather.
That's right, and you can of course watch us live on YouTube if you're not already at FSU Weather. And of course, follow us on Instagram at FSU Weather, where we can keep you up to date on severe weather as well as just the local weather in town. But for now, we'll toss things over to the wall one last time.
Thank you so much, Chandler and Joy. So, taking our one last look over the week ahead, tomorrow we're seeing some pretty okay conditions, although on Friday we are going to see that rain threat move into the area with some cooler temperatures coming that way. 69 degrees on Sunday for our high, and we might actually reach down into the 30s on Saturday. And to begin our week, although we are going to warm up just a tad, hitting almost 80 on Wednesday. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.